We start with our first talk session today. So, as I already said, Carina will talk about from buzzword to business. So how can you integrate emerging technologies into your products, which is also what she's doing with her own company. So if you have any need, talk to her afterwards and she can work with you. Before that, she was at Trumpf. Trumpf, she also was already in the technology field, so mainly AI and quantum technologies. Afterwards, for a short while at McKinsey. She said I should not say it because it makes her not like so sympathetic, but she got out of it again, right? So after a quick while, she got out of it again, and now she's back right from a sabbatical. So 1 year of traveling, also really cool, and doing her own business. And I'm really looking forward to this talk. Thank you so much for being here, and to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Let's start directly with today's talk. So I want to help you to navigate the huge landscape of these emerging technologies that you all heard with the buzzwords that are flying around, maybe today, maybe also in your company. And so how do we do that? We will start talking about a bit about digital disruption and how this somehow is the starting point why people use buzzwords, and how we can, in the next step, think about how we can distinguish whether it's just a hype or whether it's really worth it to explore this technology further. And we will look a bit into the adoption rate of these technologies to have an overview, like what's the market doing, and from that point we can do this for an example. I also have the sustainability for AI example with me, which is quite nice because we just heard a talk about it. So we will use this example to assess whether it's just a hype or whether it's really worth to start doing AI for sustainability purposes. And in the end, we will also talk about a bit about challenges and what strategies for success we have. And in the end, there's a little networking session, which will also be in Menti. And I will use Menti through all the talk slides so that it's a bit interactive. And for this, you can already find your phone, because in the next next slide, we will have the code that you can join, and I hope it will be very interactive, and you will also gain some insights about the industry and the buzzwords that are in the minds of everybody in the room. So let's start with a general overview, with the digital disruption topic. And I wanted to dig a bit into the numbers. And the worldwide spending is just accelerating over the last years. And the last number I found from 2022 was that it's a spending of 1.85 trillion US dollars just to adopt these technologies. And digital disruption is not only like having technology being adopted in the industry, it constitutes also of other aspects. And it's more just like a rethinking of the business models, of course. Maybe you already are familiar with that, and that you put the customer or the consumer in the middle of your product development circle, and thinking about how we can gather insights about that consumer or customer from the data, which is becoming a key asset in the digital disruption. And not only the external part is important to being a digital disruptor, of course, you're also looking inwards to have gains in operational efficiency with these emerging technologies, and some other aspects of digital disruptions which are not the main drivers, but also very important aspects are that there is a disintermediation, which means that the middleman is often left out in the new products that are being developed, for example, or that with digital technologies that like cloud technologies are a big enabler that people can offer a product or service really quickly in the market, so that startups, for example, have a reduced barrier to entry and they can act really quick, which is for big companies like Festo, like a competitor that can just spawn out of nowhere. So it's always good to have an overview of the topic, so that as a company as well, that you can be quick and speedy at the market. And last but not least, the industry convergence is with the platform technologies, so that the lines between different industry blur, because you can offer a service that can target also different industries together. And yeah, what we see, of course, when we strive for digital disruption, we have a lot of rewards that we can get, but we also have some challenges, and we will look at these in more detail and try to figure out how we can overcome that. So now comes the engaging part. I hope this will work. I never did it with a big audience. So we will start with a warm-up, and the warm-up is about buzzwords. And I want you to play the buzzword bingo, just to see how used you are to the topic. So I hope it works. Can somebody say yes, it works? Perfect. So then just feel free to just put all the buzzwords there. I want to have a big, cool word cloud of the buzzwords to share here. Okay. Amazing. Somebody put bingo in there. Is it working for everybody? Great. Nice picture. Yeah, so of course the center is AI, which is a main topic of today's conference, but I also see other topics like quantum computing. Jan, you also work on this. LLMs as a part of general AI is a big topic, the recent days with generative AI as well, GPT of course. So yeah, thanks a lot. So we have an overview of all the buzzwords, and you are capable of using this tool. So in the next slides, we will use it again for other topics as well. Great. So I have to close this. Perfect. Now you see the slides again. So just a quick overview. Why do buzzwords gain traction? I want to keep that short because it's just a quick overview. Of course, if you use buzzwords in your company, you have a competitive advantage because you can attract people by just naming these topics. But also, no, it's not working. Of course, you have a pressure to innovate, so it's always good if you include or have a look out for these emerging technologies. What I see as a main driver here is, of course, like the industry leaders, like CEOs and also leaders that go to conferences. They often use these words to be recognized and connected with these emerging technologies. So they sometimes overuse it. And last but not least, marketing and sales. They love buzzwords to market new products, and also use that to make concepts more easier just by using AI, and then it's cool. Like even my mother just thought about buying a new phone, and she came back to me, "Oh, this phone has AI. Is this cool? Should I buy it?" And I was like, "You don't know what AI is, Mom." So, but it worked somehow on her. So there's a truth in that. But yeah, maybe to the topics or like the numbers. I always like to research a bit about the numbers when I give a talk, because everybody is saying, yeah, these emerging technologies, they're on the rise, but how's the adoption rate actually? And there are some of these technologies listed on the left. So some appeared also in the word cloud. And AI was one very prominent one. And you can see that it's on small scale and large scale application, it's already 36% of companies or organizations worldwide have something with AI implemented, which is already a lot. I was quite surprised that only 15%, just the little bit of remaining people that haven't considered it yet. And you can see a good comparison for other technologies, like for quantum computing, like 80% of companies have not considered using it. So it's quite nice to get an overview like this. And especially if you are in the beginning and thinking about, should I adopt a new technology or not? What are the others doing? And there are benefits, of course, for this early adoption. You have a competitive edge. If you start early with this product, including these technologies, you can increase your market share at the beginning, and you have advantages in the learning curve because you start early. You have a bit more time to think about how you can turn it into a product. And of course, the talent from university that already has some knowledge about these technologies, they are looking for jobs. And if you are the first mover, they will likely want to work for a company that's very innovative at this edge. So different topics why we should do that. And of course, we always have to balance the short-term risk with long-term benefits and differentiate here between the hype and the reality, like where do we actually get sustainable value. And for that, I prepared like a 5-step approach, like how we can assess like like a buzzword topic. And first of all, we have to really start with a critical evaluation. We will also do this with the example of sustainability for AI later on. But we have to really focus about what are people promising and what is actually being done with this technology right now. And this can be best done if you look at the maturity, if you research like how is it used in practice right now, and whether it's just under development technology or if there's actually a lot of evidence that it's being used. And the topic of evidence, this is then done by researching case studies showing which are competitors using these technologies and getting an overview there. And then what is often forgotten when you're really hyped about technologies is thinking about the business goals. Like people tend to come from a technology background and thinking about, oh, I heard of quantum computing at this conference, so that's the next cool thing, let's try it out. But then, of course, there's maybe product management or somebody else later on joining in and say, have you figured out the business case or what do you want to achieve with it? And that's the crucial point that you have to do early on to think about what do you want to do with it? Do you want to be the next provider of these technologies, or do you want to have a specific niche use case, etc., that is very useful for your business where you already are well positioned, for example, in your market? And last but not least, which always leads to some challenges in the end, is also you have to try to think about the resource assessment. Like what kind of people do you already have in your company that have a background in that area, and how much time and money do you want to invest in developing a solution with that emerging technology? So these are 5 steps, and I want to walk you through an example. So let's do that for AI for sustainability. And it's a bit focused on manufacturing because I just did a talk about that topic 2 weeks ago, so I reuse this as an example here. So of course, the hype here is often that AI is just a magic tool which help us solve huge climate challenges, and we will just reduce CO2 just by using AI, and everything will be green. So that's like what we often perceive if you have the first buzzwordy line on conferences. But in reality, if we think about AI for sustainability, there are certain areas, like in manufacturing and logistics, where you have a use case like predictive maintenance or waste reduction topics that really have an impact right now. And if you have a good overview about these use cases for your area, you can right now create a sustainable value for your business. And that's where you want to focus by thinking about how you can create or integrate these emerging technologies in your business. yeah, looking then at the maturity and practicality level, you remember this is the adoption rate of AI in general. So there is a broad adoption of AI in general, but there is also a good study from Austria about how this technology is used for. Okay. Nice, it works like this. You see that in general, AI is used in Austrian companies for 25%. But if you put that or narrow that down to sustainability management use cases, you see that the number drops. And there are some interesting overviews like this also for other digital technologies that they are used and adopted, but not for sustainability reasons. So there is still some way to use this technology in a way that others haven't thought of. So let's look at the case study and evidence in this case. I collected a really broad overview here of the different. I structured it along the life cycle. So of course, at the beginning, you have your product design and development, then the supply chain topics, production topics, and circularity topics, and all the different use cases where you can use AI for sustainability in the manufacturing context. So that's another thing to go into the details here. So the other talk was about presenting these use cases, but just to show you how you can start thinking about, okay, which is a use case for my company? Like, for example, AI-enhanced product design. We saw that earlier with the pineapples and the buildings. So there's somebody used AI to improve his design processes. So maybe that's something you could also think of in your company because you're very design focused, for example. Okay, so now there's an interactive part again, finally. So the interactive parts are becoming more and more present now. So I want to think about the alignment with business goals part. What goals are you pursuing with the use of AI? Consider only already implemented projects. I think it's multiple choice. No? Oh, okay, sorry. Then I did something wrong here. Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. I also have another slide prepared, but if you only can choose one, it makes not so much sense because the next slide is just about future projects. I wanted to have the difference, like what is important for future projects. I see a bit of movement. So some people were nudged to choose the sustainability options to have energy savings, CO2 savings. Less people want to have cost savings and time savings. Yeah. So why did I wanted to ask that specific question? Because there is a really cool study I really like, but it's not updated since 2021. And the study asked the same questions, asking the companies what were the business goals behind using AI, and especially the sustainability topics. And you see that in planned projects, they are trying to use AI more, but at the current overview, you see that CO2 savings, energy savings play just a little role. Okay. Last but not least, the resource assessment. I said that already. It's a big pain point if you forget that while you plan to use an emerging technology. And I also added that to a brainstorming list of technological and organizational challenges. We already heard that cultural assistance is a really big topic that impedes the adoption of new technologies, but also technological topics like legacy systems, or that the data quality is missing for a specific use case, are often the case. And yeah, since I just brainstormed the list, I wanted to also engage you in thinking about what are your most pressuring topics here, to have an overview about what is the most urgent implementation challenge. There are still some people missing, just 3 people joined. Interesting that data quality seems to be a number 1 issue here. Okay. So switching back and forth is still a tricky thing here. Everybody who is interested in the results, I can share them afterwards if you don't have access to that anymore. Okay. Yeah, strategies for success. Okay, first of all, it's really important what culture you foster in your company, whether you have these cross-functional teams and leverage partnerships and expertise from everybody on the team, but also from your partners. Yeah, agile development, feedback loops, I think that's something a lot of companies already adopted, but with this iterative approach, you already see where you can pivot to have a real impact in the development. Training and development of the employees is important, as you saw that there's still a need for upskilling with these emerging technologies. And of course, if you always measure and iterate, you get a good overview of your progress. I will skip the strategy for success and go directly to the networking in the end. So I thought it's really cool if everybody can share what technology they are using for what use case and what is the maturity level of your use case. And I can share that on the screen, and so you can try to network with each other. I don't know how many people know each other here, but I thought it would be quite nice to have like this overview. So for example, I put down the computer vision technology for fault detection. Yeah, Elena Expert from Electronics Inc. is developing an application there, and she's in the stage 7. So if you have something similar, you can enter that in the last slide here, and then you can hopefully network in the end, and that's already yeah, the end of my presentation then. So
thank you so much. Give a round of applause.